but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job. Done.
Tell me why. Why can't we live together? Tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
Hello, all you melanated beauties, sun-kissed by God's lips. This is Coy with your black tea sip. I'm sipping power to pour you the truth. Go grab your cup. Let's fill it up.
All right. Happy Friday. I am feeling supercalifragilisticexpialidocious this Friday. And we've got Lola in-house. I want to talk about relationships. You know, I've had a lot of people say a lot of things to me. Shout out to my boy Ty, who's like, Coy, you need to do a relationship segment. So I'm going to oblige my good friend. And we are going to have a relationship segment because Lola's love life, some of you know that she's dating online. I didn't know about dating online. I was so ignorant about dating online that I was swiping left, right, up. And listen, somebody said you can't swipe up and down. Yes, you can. It's not probably right to do it, but you can do it because I did it. And I awakened the beast. She had so many inboxes. It was really ridiculous. So we're going to get into relationships. Lola's been on a few dates and she's going to share. But I also want to talk about DL Hughley and Monique. We want to have a moment of silence for Marion Barber, the former Dallas Cowboy football player who was found dead in his home. And I want to talk about what is a mass shooting. Because if somebody come in here, God forbid, and shoot them up bang bang after me and Lola and Angelo are gone, and because I'm not putting myself in that, and God forbid, and shoot up, we would say that's a mass shooting. However, there was an escaped convict last night that was on the run from Centerville who had broken out of jail while being transported. I don't understand none of that, and he shot 5 people. An adult and 4 children. Now, last night they said it was 2 adults and 3 children. This morning, so he shot 5 people, and some of them were children. But he's not considered. That's not considered a mass shooting. So, I don't know why. I want to talk about that. And Jada Pinkett is still out here calling herself a victim and trying to rally the alopecia crowd. Girl, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. We're going to talk about all that and more. This is Coy with the Black Tea Sip. We're going to take a quick break, let Lola catch her breath, and then we're going to get into relationships in a minute.
Nourished skin is healthy skin. Simply Ardor skincare products provides luxurious nourishment for your body. Indulge in rich scrubs and body butters and top it off with our sensational and unique aromatic lines of sprays and roll-on fragrances. It's simple and lovely. Simply Ardor. Love is real. Just spread it.
Asking me where I wanna be next to you. Baby, I'm thankful for the game that you're teaching me. I think it's a heart. I want a piece of you. I wanna be yours. I wanna know what you're thinking. When we talk, what you feel. There is a problem, babe. Don't know if it's real or not. I know what I feel. I need some more of you. You and me belong together. I don't mind showing you it's real. I feel your heart when it beat. Me and you, we on the same team. I wanna be yours. I wanna be yours. I got a smart mouth, but I want it to be yours. I got a good heart and it's beating for you. Don't have to show me it's real. I wanna be, yeah. I don't mind mind showing you it's real. I wanna be, 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 yeah, yeah, I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna be. Don't think I don't know this. I love how you glowing up. You taught me the basics about diamonds and snakes. Timing is precious and it's better to wait. Tick tock, baby, I'm listening. I wanna know more. Don't wanna be your apprentice. I wanna be yours. I'm ready to jump in the deep end now. Baby, I'm sure you got that high dollar love, babe, like Christian Dior. Don't wanna be your friend, baby. I wanna be yours. Real or not, I know what I feel. I need some more of you. You and me belong together. I don't mind showing you it's real. I feel your heart when it beat. Me and you, we on the same team. I wanna be yours. I wanna be. I wanna be. I got a smart mouth, but I want it
All right,
to
and
be
we're back. This is Corbett the Black Tea Sip. Lola has been on a few dates. We're going to get into that. I want to also talk about the Monique and DL Hughley fiasco. It's an absolute disaster. And it's embarrassing for the culture. But Lola, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, wasn't it about somebody being first or?
Yes.
Okay.
So, that to me plays into relationships. People, some of y'all out here failing in these dating streets, but you also failing in just your platonic relationship. You know, you can't professionally. You listen. If you are a man and you meet a woman and she says she don't hang out with a lot of women, she's the problem.
She is definitely a problem. She is. I agree to that. People who be like, oh, women ain't messy. I can't. Let me say this.
Girl,
they are the messy one.
Yeah, because for every woman that woman encounters, the common denominator is her.
Yes. And if all she can get along with is men, it's a problem. And she is definitely for these streets. Okay?
And she gonna screw your man.
She's definitely for these streets.
So Monique has a problem with people.
I think she has a need for being first, but like being recognized. You have an Oscar.
She feels like she hasn't gotten her recognition. Like whatever it is that she feels like she's owed, she feels like she hasn't gotten it. Which brings me to relationships, because we are going to unpack that completely. But let's talk about relationships. So Lola, you've been on some dates.
Yes, I have. And they have been, so I've had a lot of fun. And I do feel like as a current intentional dater that you should have fun. And so I am definitely open to at least going on a first date. So meaning, it's kind of like in the professional world, if somebody asks you for a meeting, you should at least take the first one.
Yes.
Now, even if you know you're going
always
in there
take the meeting.
Yeah. So I've had one date that had turned into a business deal.
Yes, I remember that last week.
So we trying to make some money, and we'll talk about being in love later. And then here recently, I went on a date with an older guy. His daughter is just 10 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
So he's definitely not trying to have kids, so we know where this is going. And so it's going nowhere. So I end up, because my job is unique, I may have holidays off and may not have holidays off.
Right.
So for everyone else got to do barbecue on Monday, not me. I had to work. And so since I had to work, I kind of felt bad that I stood this guy up. I met him at a great gathering spot in Dallas during Coy's birthday. and I thought he was funny. We were in line and we were getting food from like a food truck. And listen, late at night, anytime you're getting food, you're just looking for something to absorb the alcohol. Right. You're not looking for a gourmet meal. But he ended up being next to me, and he was very picky about this food truck food. And I'm like, everyone's just really drunk trying to get sober up so they don't, go to jail for a DUI or whatever the case may be. And you here are asking for ingredients. Like, you holding up the line. The club closed at 2. It's 1:50.
Right, it's time to go.
So that's how we ended up talking and meeting and exchanging contacts. So on Tuesday,
and he bought your food.
He did buy my food,
and he trusted you to pick his food.
And he did trust me to pick his food after he denied everything I told him he should have it. So it was, and he
offered me some, Lola.
He did.
Yes, he was like, because I was eating her food because I didn't go get in the line, and he said, "Well, try some of mine because I've got chicken." I'm like, "Sir, this is a baked potato. Don't nobody put chicken on." Ooh, no, sir, your palate is for these streets.
And so, to say the least, Tuesday we ended up meeting, and I told him when we had our first conversation, he told me he lived in McKinney. I live in Arlington, and that is considered a long distance relationship. So if I have to go to McKinney and he double books a day, I'm not going home. I let him know that this means that whoever else is, she gonna have to scoot over, because when you take day trips, you need a nap, right?
Right.
So anyway, I ended up meeting him in McKinney, and we went and we had some drinks and dinner, and it was cool. We talked a lot.
Now, were you already out that way? Why did you go there and not make him come to you? One, you didn't want him to know where you live because he's a stranger. Right. But he could have killed you. He could have killed you in his house. Yeah, I felt bad about
kind of standing him up on Monday.
Oh, I wouldn't have felt that bad.
I know, and then a lot has been going on personally, so I didn't mind the drive. I needed some distraction. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and we met at a restaurant, and so from the restaurant would have determined if I was going to do a turnaround trip or if I was going to continue the conversation. But the conversations were really good. We had a really good time talking. He likes champagne, no matter where it's from, the grocery store or the gas station. And I'm not a champagne drinker, but
we're liquitarians.
When in Rome, whatever. And so we end up going to his house. He just started watching Ozark. I am a really huge fan of the series.
Yes, great show.
And, you fall asleep. So we fall asleep, and I knew I wasn't going to leave. I wasn't going to stay the whole night because, I wasn't ready for that just yet.
But we can understand that.
And let me tell you, on a first date, especially if you meet someone halfway drunk, you think you remember what they look like.
It's so true. It's so true.
You remember being attracted to them, but you never know until you go back out when you are fully sober, and you may be like, oh no, this is not what I signed up for, or okay, great decisions in a distrusting moment. So he wasn't that bad looking, and he definitely
he wasn't bad looking.
Yeah, and so when I got up to leave, he kissed me goodnight. Goodbye. And it was not a really good, the kiss was so bad. Like, I think he tried to seduce me, or, hey, I'm an attractive
you're a
woman.
Cute girl.
And he was thinking, if I kiss her, this would be the greatest kiss ever, and she'll stay, and the world will open. I think he bit my lip, because I was like, it was just, I wasn't ready for that kind of kiss. I thought it was going to be like a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the lips, and then if we liked the kiss on the lips, it was going to turn into maybe another nice kiss. Absolutely not. And then he was holding me really tight, and he's bigger than me, and so with him holding me, I didn't feel like it was very uncomfortable. It was like he was trying to hold me in a lustful way, where I would be drawn into him sexually, and I was kind of like, I can't breathe. You know
what that means. He also don't know how to hold his weight off of you when the time comes.
Oh my God. It was and then my braids were new and fresh, and so
he was pulling them.
The braids I was like, oh, it's a lot of pain going here. And we're standing up at my car. This is not So, you know, all the good, I hate to say, kind of went out the door because that part of it just
was bad.
It was really bad. Like, I mean, there was like snot and stuff on my nose, and you know, I had to get it. When I got in my car, I really did check to make sure he didn't, like, there was no blood from biting my lip. It was just it was a lot. And so as I was driving, you know, home, I'm thinking to myself, because, you know, gas prices are high. I'm like,
it's $8,000 a gallon.
I'm like, do I send an invoice for gas to tell him, like, this is not... It was like a good date went bad really fast. And that was disappointing.
I think I would have said, oh, this is a lot. Can you unhook me?
I did say, I said, oh, I'm not there yet. You know, I said, let kind of squeezing out his arms.
You shimmied out of it?
Yeah, and then he's like trying to definitely like hold me again, and I'm like, you know, it's really late. I have a long drive. And of course, I shouldn't be out this late. I shouldn't drive this long. And he's right, but I'll take the risk. Like, in my mind, trust me, if I don't get home,
oh God,
that's the only way I will regret this. So long story short, I end up stopping for gas. I know it's not a good idea, dangerous or whatever. And I go in, and this guy sees me. He's like, oh, you're really beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. And so I go in, I get some coffee, and no, I get a Red Bull, because it's like 1:30, I guess, in the morning. And I put my stuff up there, and the attendant at the gas station said, oh, I think the guy has it. I said, has what? He was like, your gas and whatever else you get. I said, he doesn't, you know, I'm like, okay. Does he know how much I'm getting? He was like, whatever it is. So, you know, I filled it all the way up.
Amen.
You know, past the F. And so I get the gas, I get my Red Bull, and of course the guy comes around, and he's older too. I can tell he's got kids my age.
And sure dipping in the pawpaw pool.
And yeah,
you papa shopping for real.
But I'm really not. And because my date with the guy just a few hours ago wasn't ended on a bad note, I couldn't even bring myself to give this man my number. I was like, yeah, I'm living with my boyfriend. And I said, but I sure appreciate this, and I thank you for recognizing my beauty. You know, I'm not really happy with my man right now, so I'm gonna tell him, you know, somebody, if you want, somebody else will. He laughed. He told me it was nice meeting me.
And he scooted on.
He scooted on. So in that, I will say, I don't know what everyone considers older. I think I'm 41, so maybe from 45 to...
Well, I think for you, it's anybody who's willing to have children. But most men,
he had a 32-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I'm 50. I just turned 50. And, you know, for me, I wouldn't want to date a man over the age of 55. Okay. Because I would want to do things and to go places. And, you know, I mean, as men get older, they do start to develop certain things. And, you know, and I have a friend that's very unhappy in her relationship because he has hypertension. Okay. Well, now hypertension causes limpness. Mm-hmm. So she's very unhappy about that because he's limp. And I say, he needs to change the medication. And she was like, oh, is it because the medication? Yeah.
My grandmother used to say, you know, old men, they have a stopping point. But, you know, women, we can go, go, go. And I was like, at first I was like, first of all, that's inappropriate. But I'm beginning to see there, she said that to me to be like, let me tell you something. Don't believe the hype. And I'm not saying that's for every older guy. Like, not every other guy.
Well, I mean, no, there's exceptions to every rule, but I mean, you know, they used to say, "Oh, men give you worms." So,
oh, wow.
you ever heard that?
No,
yeah, "Oh, man give you worms." So, so I think you know, for someone who wants a family, then you know, your age is literally, if you're willing to date younger, should be somewhere between 35 and 45.
I absolutely agree. So here's the thing. I'm a nice person. I'm not texting people like you are a terrible kisser, and I never want to die of suffocation. So let's not do this. I'm not that person. So the safe way for me to because then he was like, "Do you believe in love at first sight?"
Oh God,
and I was
run for the hills. Run for the hills.
Well, I believe in like at first sight. And because
but
there's
can
a
you
lot
really
of
like somebody at first sight? Because you don't know them.
Yeah. I mean, you can like them. You can like them and want to get to know them quickly, or you can like them and be like, "It seems like a nice person." Not for me. So I think for me it was more so that my out is the fact that I definitely want to have children.
Yeah.
And
an old man ain't gonna do them, give you work.
Yeah.
He not gonna
And
give you kids.
him and his daughter are probably both seeking the same thing, and that's probably that we could be friends. He's definitely he has great conversations. We have a lot to discuss.
But he doesn't want to be a friend. So what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah,
you just
he don't want no
you gonna twirl him around into the homeboy road?
I am gonna twirl him around. He's definitely. It was.
Do you think people know how to do that, Lola? Like move them in the categories?
I think you have to create boundaries early in order to properly move them. You can't straddle the fence. So like with this guy, hey, I had a great time at dinner. Make it very clear. At dinner, I had a great time. I
think you should tell him he may not ask it outright, but I think he needs to know he's a terrible kisser.
I don't, when you his age, it's got to be somebody else that has told you. There's
well,
no
you know
way.
what? Let me say this. So you got a lot of people that are dating. Mm-hmm. For those that are tuning in now, I am a bit of a love guru. You got a lot of people that are dating, and women my age may date a man that's 65. I wouldn't, but different strokes. And older women have not, especially been married a long time. She hasn't told him anything. This whole new evolution of finding ourselves and using our voices in all manners is relatively new to my generation. And so a woman his age is not telling him, "You suck at this, sir."
I definitely am not going to be the one to do it either, because it's definitely not my problem, because I have decided.
Not your problem to solve.
Yeah, I have decided I won't be kissing you anymore. So since I won't be kissing you, however, because it's worked for you for this long, like I ain't the first, you got a kid.
Well, you have to kiss to get a kid.
Well, I don't want to find out either.
That's not how it works.
I don't want to kiss him to get a kid.
But the truth is, if he's a bad kisser, then the assumption, right or wrong, would be that he's bad at everything else.
And I'm not going to find that out either. And so, since I don't want to explore, more of this. Then yes, it was. I looked at what is good about this. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Seems like a really nice guy to have some debatable conversation with, catch up on a game, things of that nature.
So here's the thing, and I think women do this all the time. So here I go. Here's the coyism for the day for relationships. That's not going to work. He doesn't want to be your friend.
He doesn't.
And the fact that you will allow him to fit in some mold, games, conversation, is a bit of a tease. You need to. I mean, you're not interested,
well,
and you by your own admission, intentional. Mm-hmm. That's unintentional. He doesn't work. He doesn't fit.
He doesn't.
So you just kind of. And if you think, okay, this is a nice guy, then you let time pass before you allow yourself to engage with him, because it's going to take time to move this older man from I'm interested in dating you and I can't pick out what I want from the barbecue food truck at Sandaga. Like, it's going to take some time. Thanks to Antonio, part owner of Sandaga, for taking care of me at the last minute for my birthday soiree that was at the last minute. Thanks to Lola. Sandaga 813. Got to get that out. So here's the thing. He's not going to want to be there. So months will have to pass. And then he would just call, out of the blue and be like, hey, what you doing? Because he understands that the time lapse means you're not interested, but perhaps he, wants to continue some kind of friendship. And he would have to make that decision because anything you do is going to be misleading. Mm-hmm. So you can't do that. But here's the other thing. When it's been articles written about this and everything, that women for a free meal will take a bad date. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Now, Lola has slunk down in her seat, so on this show we sit power for truth.
Your gas is high. Anytime, and I'm not really trying to requote or quote a Cat Williams, but I am. Like, when you're making life decisions and you're starting to take the price personal, like, did I offend the gas company? I mean, oil and gas. Like, was there a march that I went on that you are now, taking revenge at? Like, when you are looking at gas like this, and my parents live in the city of Dallas, so even for me, like, we're cooking, or prime example, on Sunday, I misread a text from my sister. I thought it said dinner at mama's house. Did not say that. It said dinner at my house. Dinner at mama's house is the city of Dallas. Dinner at my house is the city of Singleville. So I live in Arlington. Gas is $1,000 a gallon.
$8.
And I am looking at myself, and we have an SUV, so I am really making life decisions. I drive all the way to my mom's house.
Only to be told you have to go to Singleville.
And I saw no cars. I said, well, where did everybody go? I'm not late. Get in my parents' house and realize.
Singleville.
Singleville. And my parents are not even concerned that it took me, I got all the way over there. They weren't like, well, I mean, if you want to stay or go home, we understand. My mama is giving me a list of things she wants from my sister's house, okay, in Singleville. So she has decided, although you got it at the wrong house, you still gonna have to go over there. Singleville from her house is a good 45 minutes.
Yes, it is.
And
are you saying all of this to say that you take free meals?
I am saying this to say, yes.
From people you're not interested in?
I sure will. I will eat and be merry.
So here's the thing with that. You should not do that. I think I did that in my youth. I'd be like, well, I'm not really interested, but I go up here and eat, we can talk while I drink. So if you're intentional, you don't take on things that are unintentional. If you are out here basically going on dates for food, then, I mean, for lack of a better word, you hoeing out for dinner. So you don't want to do that.
No,
if you, I mean, I'm just keeping it real. So, I mean, everybody's got their moments. So you don't want to do that. You want to let it be known, because here's the other thing. You have a right to do whatever you want to do in life, except make or take a victim along the way.
Right.
So if you are leading this guy on for some Perry's Steakhouse, you are creating a victim in him, and vice versa. These dudes who they're telling these girls what they want to hear so that they'll continue to fool with them, you're creating, a monster that later you're going to have to battle. And most people are ill-equipped for the battle. So you don't do that. If you're intentional about dating, then once you realize this date is not working, you on to something else. And you don't have to be cruel about it.
I don't use the same person. Like, I'll go and see what this person's like. Like I said, I always take the first date.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean there's a second
But now,
one.
can you determine from okay, here's a prime example, right? Here's a prime example. The guy, one of my homeboys really wanted me to meet a very good friend of his. Mm-hmm. And, I wasn't really inclined because I was already involved, right? Mm-hmm. But they're good friends. He and I thought, were friends. And, he was really insistent upon me meeting the guy. So I didn't meet him, but the guy was like, hey, are you free? So I talked to him. His conversation with me, I never wanted to meet him. Mm-hmm. Like, he just couldn't hold my attention to meet him. Mm-hmm. And, I just didn't want to talk to him anymore. So I didn't tell my homeboy, your boy is a buster. Because here's the thing about guys. They think that's their boy. You want to know who your homeboy really is? Ask the last woman he was with.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to know the truth.
She's gonna know
and
the
some
truth.
of your friends, I'm sorry, some of your friends are busters. They are, and don't fix them up with nobody. Like, y'all know, he's a buster. So, you know, I didn't even allow that conversation to go on. He was like, well, you know, call me tomorrow. Oh, I said, no, I'm not. He was like, well, you want me to call you? No, I don't. I think we've gone as far as we can go. And he was like, well, why? I said, have a very good night. Sleep tight. Click. Like, I don't want to talk. Now, somebody was like, oh, Corey, that was rude. Yeah, well, he got the, because he was like, I'm a multi-millionaire and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what's in your bank account. I care what's in mine.
Guys that,
Yes.
that may seem, I'm trying to think, guys that may seem, you know, where the conversation is dragging or anything like that.
He was just very boastful. And here's the thing about dating. When you talk too much about yourself, you tell the other person that you're disinterested in finding out about them.
Oh, absolutely.
So if the conversation is one-sided, so shall the relationship be.
Yeah.
This thing that many women, I have not heard a man say this, and it would scare out of me if I did. Women are out here saying, well, I'm dating to marry. You want to know what that means? Give me a like and stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Corey with the Black Tea Sip. Lola's love life. We're going to delve into it a little bit because y'all are out here failing in these streets dating to marry. What the hell that mean?
Do you want to find a stable job in a growing field? IT jobs such as network systems administrators, cybersecurity, programming, cloud, and computer systems analysts are expected to increase 25% by 2022. Texas Premier Technology Institute offers training for top certifications such as CompTIA, Cisco, and Microsoft in less than 12 weeks. And if you're unemployed or underemployed, you may qualify for free tuition. Contact TPTI at 1-888-490-TPTI or check them out on the web at tpti.us.
What's up, Sir Charles?
Time, bud, what's happening with it, baby?
Say, man, I messed up, man.
Oh, yeah. What you do, man?
I think my baby done left me, man.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think she gonna take me back. You know that old saying, they say you never miss your water till your well run dry.
Trust me, I've been there, done that.
Man, I never thought that'd happen to me. I was wrong. For hurting you, baby, for hurting you. Yeah, I was so wrong, for breaking your heart in two, All you did was try to love me, baby, love me, but I was out acting a fool. So I'm asking you to please forgive me, baby. Forgive me, 'cause I'm so afraid of losing you. My daddy used to tell me, son, you never miss your water. Never miss your water, yeah. Yeah, until your well run dry. Until your well run dry. I never meant to hurt you, baby. Never meant to hurt you. No, I never meant to make you cry. I never meant to make you cry. You never miss your water. Never miss your water. Oh no, babe. Until your well run dry. Until your well run dry. I never meant to hurt you, baby. Oh no, I never meant to make you cry. Come on, search on, sing this song.
I was looking for love. Yes, I was. In all the wrong places. Yes, I was. I was staying out late at night. Yeah. And you be up waiting on me. Yeah. You would ask me where the hell I'm in. But I would have no excuse. No. All I know is I'm tired of lying, baby. And I'm so tired of hurting you. My daddy used to tell me, son, you never never miss your water. Never miss your water. Till you well when dry. Till you well when dry. Oh no, that's it. I never meant to hurt you, baby. I never meant to hurt you, pretty little baby. I never meant to make you cry. I'm so sorry, pretty little baby. You never miss your water. Never miss your water. Till you well when dry. Till you well when dry.
All right, and we're back. That's my boy Ty Diggs. If you're into the blues, then you're into him. We play independent music. We play good music, but we play independent music. So if you are interested, look up Ty Diggs. He's been singing a long time, a good friend of mine. He has a great voice, and he's a beautiful person inside and out. So shout out to Ty Diggs, and we'll get more of his music played on the air. So we're talking about relationships, and Lola is out here intentionally dating in these streets. But I want to talk about misleading people. And so if you caught us before the break, we were talking about moving people around. Now, I was fantastical at moving somebody around. I literally had a guy tell me in my youth, how did I get here? I was like, where are you? He said, here. How did I get to be a homeboy? And I kind of chuckled to myself because I was so good at just moving you around. Now, I don't think that people should follow that path the way I did it. Like, I'd be talking to you and hey, and we hang out, and then, it'd be girls and guys hanging out, and you thinking you talking to me, but I'm talking to you just like I'm talking to everybody else. And then next thing I do is I tell you about a dude I'm dating, and it probably wasn't cool, but I let it be known. You know, we ain't going another further. So, but he was a cool guy, but it didn't always work out the way that I wanted it to. So with that, I'm saying, as we are getting older, 40s, 50s, if you're dating, and a lot of women are out here wanting to be married. Well, go ahead, baby. Everybody should be miserable once in life. So if that's your deal. But this thing about dating to marry, let me tell you what you're saying. You are telling men that you're not necessarily interested in them. You're not interested in getting to know them. You're not interested in organically, because a relationship should happen organically. You should be friends and it should develop. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. What you are ultimately saying is, I don't care who it is, I just want to get married. That's what you're saying. Now, if that may not be what you meant to say, but that's absolutely the message that you're sending. I want to be married, and I'm looking for the guy to marry me, not the guy who's going to be with me. That is what's being said. And I'm telling you, that's what men hear.
I don't know. I can't, I've never been married, so I can't speak on that. But I will say, I am dating to
establish a relationship and see where it goes. If you say you're dating to marry, we're going to cut the air off.
Well, don't cut the air off because it's hot in here.
No, I mean the air. The regular air. It is kind of hot in here.
But no, because I do want to get married. So I don't even want to date someone who's not interested in getting married.
But you're not dating solely to marry, right?
I do want to marry. I don't want to marry anybody. I could have been married, a few times, if that. But I am dating because, my ultimate goal is to be married. And I do want to be in a committed relationship with someone who...
Those are two different things.
I want to be married, and I want my marriage to be a committed relationship.
And that may be two different things.
When they say you're asking for too much, No,
I don't think you're asking for too much. I think you put in the universe what you want. But I think if you want to be married, and ultimately what you're saying is, I am looking for a partner for life. That is what a marriage is.
Right.
A partner for life. And so there's a piece of paper that says this person is not only responsible, but obligated to witness your life, to participate in a way that is meaningful and impactful and beneficial. And it's usually the beneficial part, because you can be impactful and not be beneficial. That happens all the time. But when you say I am dating to marry, here's the problem. What you are telling the universe is, I want, and let me back up a little bit. When you tell the universe something, the universe opens up, it receives it, and then it develops it and brings it back to you. What you put out is what you get back. When you say I am dating to marry, not you specifically, Lola, but people. When you say I am dating to marry, you're saying I'm looking for somebody who will marry me. I'm going to date the person that will marry me. You are not saying I want to date someone that I can fall in love with and they're going to love me, because that is separate. It's people that's married that don't like each other and don't love each other. There are people who are in committed relationships that are not married. I don't think I'll ever get married again. I mean, I'm not opposed to marriage. I think it's a great institution for people who want to be institutionalized. However, I don't think that I will marry again. Now, will I participate and be in a committed relationship? Absolutely. Do I want to be 65, 70 years old and married? Maybe. Maybe. I got 20 years for that, girl. So, I'm just going to see. Because, a relationship should be healthy and organic, but you should be able to talk. And if you're just looking for the person that's going to marry you, that may not be the person that's for you. And marriage, at this age, you want to do it. You want to still have children. You want to do it at an age. They scaring the fool out of you. They telling you your edge getting old. You're losing your edge. Your baby gonna have an ear on his forehead.
It is like the most frightening thing. Yeah, it's like when you turn 40, your doctors become like these death messengers. Like life is short. You can die tomorrow. You don't have enough eggs. You may have one egg left. We can try for $1 million. And you're like, God, die. Or you need to hurry up and make these decisions. I'm just now going on dates.
But, Sarah, or Sarah, if you're a Baptist Training Union, usher board, singing in the choir, kind of listener, Sarah was old as black pepper when she had a baby. Now, you don't want to be old. You don't want your baby to graduate high school and everybody think that you're his meemaw. You don't necessarily want that. But I think stressing about it doesn't help. And I think when you say, I'm dating to marry, you are telling men, I'm looking for the person that's going to marry me, not for the person who's going to love me.
But so to say that, even with loving me, I do want us to both be in tune with getting married. Like this is not a compromise. Like, right. I don't want to date someone for 5 years and it's like
20. I know somebody's dated somebody for 20 years.
5 years and they're like, boo, it's just been you, boo. We did it, and it's like, but you're not. That's not what I signed up for, or that is not what that is not my goal.
And I think that conversation happens in a way where they say, yes, you talk about, do you ever want to get married? And the guy say, yeah, I want kids. Okay, well then that's and then the relationship grows organically. But I know someone who specifically says, I am dating to marry and never been married. There's something afoot.
I definitely don't make any apologies for it. I say it right off the bat because I feel like if you're going to ask me about what I look like naked, I can tell you what Jesus. I want.
Is that what's, that's what's in the streets? That's in the streets?
Yeah, if you want, because guys are very clear, like, I'm buying all these drinks because you need to be real comfortable, and I'm not saying that's what's happening, but they definitely will tell you what they want. And since you're going to tell me what you want, I'm going to tell you what I want. Well, you know what?
My best friend, God bless the dead, used to say, Charlotte Thompson. She got to be Charlotte after we got to college. She was Charlotte before. She said to me, I ask a man whatever I want because he ain't got no problem asking me nothing.
He has no problem.
And I agree with that. So, but I just want people to be clear. If you're dating and your goal is to get married, then you need to think about how you are moving, because you can't correct someone else's behavior, but you can correct your own. Those of you, and I'm not speaking to everybody, those of you who are out here meeting a man on Friday night at Sam Dogger 813, I'm just saying, okay? You're out here, you at the club, you meet the man, you like him. Understand, everybody has somebody when you meet them. So don't think when he say he doesn't have a girlfriend, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have people that he sees. And some of them have fans. So you meet this man and then they go home. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about people, women. Some men do it. You meet this person and then, y'all have great conversations Saturday morning, maybe Sunday, y'all do brunch, y'all talk a few times through the week, you really liking him, you digging him. So you stop talking to Johnny who came over here and fixed your fence last week. You don't want to talk to Johnny no more because Johnny a handyman, that ain't what you're looking for. Okay, well great, but you've been stringing Johnny along. But then when Leo, who you was really liking from Sandaga 813, well now, you know, y'all are a little bit more established, you know, 4, 5, 6 weeks go by. He's starting to talk to whoever he was talking to, Lorraine, before. Because, see, he's not going to close the door and lock it because he met you. Now, he may chisel away at some. There may be some that fall by the wayside, but it's a couple in there going to hang in, boo. They been in there. Don't stop talking to Leo because you don't know if this fool can fix your fence. Don't stop talking to Leo.
Yeah,
keep
I
dating,
agree.
keep going out, keep meeting people that you think you might want to talk to, and keep doing brunches.
You definitely,
don't hang your hat on Leo.
Yeah. You cannot, just shut down and focus on one person. You still have, even if that's the person you like the most, I think you definitely still have to keep
A man
dating.
is a hunter.
Yeah. And so, and the
He
thing
should be a hunter. Some of them are gatherers, but you want the hunter.
Until you are pursued in a way where he's like, listen, I done cut everybody off, and it's just you, and I just
It's
want
just
it to
you,
be
boo.
then when people tell me they dating, I believe them. I don't. And
I
as
have
much
people
as
I
I
see.
am so talented. And I am a beautiful woman. But even with all of that, I'm not believing that you have decided to shut the door after just getting to know me, knowing my first name. I don't believe that.
And listen, stop getting mad. I have a few friends who really struggle with this. If you are over there spending the night, that's on you, boo. Because you are in control of the time that you leave his house and the time he leaves yours.
Well, and not only that, don't do anything
in the hopes. That's right.
With the expectation
That's right.
that this is gonna do. I don't care what it is. Jasmine Sullivan wrote a song, BPW, and even with that. Even if you think you got it like that and you can just really work him out, at the end of the day, just think about it that you burned a lot of calories, but not that he has cleaned out his cabinets.
He is not.
And made a little place in his closet for you, because it just like they come by the dozens, we come by the dozens for them.
And it's true. Stop
only
doing
do
that.
Yeah, only do that for yourself. Like, if this is what you want to do it. You know?
And stop thinking that because he's with you in that way, he's supposed to let everybody else go. That is not how the game is played.
No, that's why you need condoms.
Well, that too. But I think that it is important for women to understand, because he is with you in this manner does not mean that he stopped everybody else. And I have friends, I have a very dear friend, her relationships last 14 days. And I literally had to tell her, this is why this is happening to you. Because you put a lot of stipulations in the relationship that can't be there. Relationships develop organically.
Yeah.
Over time, he starts to say, I have more fun with her.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the time I spend with Coy. This, you know what? I can't wait to be able to call her. I love to hear her voice. But now he's still talking to Teresa.
Yeah, because when
Teresa's calling him and he's calling me. See the difference?
Or when he's mad at you for not texting, he's calling somebody else.
Oh, yes, he's
or
doing
when,
that. Absolutely.
all those things. When you did something he didn't like, he's calling somebody else that'll do something that he likes. And so at the end of the day, I definitely am keeping my options open.
And how many men do you need to make one?
5.
5. So right before we go to break, let me go on to break this down for y'all. Some of these men gonna get mad, but on this show we still power to pour truth. Here we want to here it go. Takes 5 men to equal 1. Now, with that being said, sometimes you hit a trifecta and you're going to get 3 of these qualities out of one man, but that still means that for the main event, he's going to need help. He's still going to need a hype man and still going to need a backup dancer. But here are the 5 qualities. 1, you need Mr. Showtime. Mr. Showtime, it ain't somebody you want to be with all the time, but he take you out, he spin you around. He likes to show you off, makes you feel good, tells you that you look good, and loves the way you smell. And that's every now and then. He's a good time, Mr. Showtime. And then you also need Mr. Fix It, because some stuff's gonna break down. And what Mr. Fix It can't fix, he knows somebody that can, he gonna pay for it. Okay, you also need a snuggle bunny. When you don't want to be bothered with all that going out and coming and going, you don't feel like taking your hair out the ponytail or the top bun, and you just want to be celebrated. In a way, he gonna order whatever your takeout is. It's gonna be a good Netflix and smile. He gonna rub your feet. That's the snuggle bunny. Okay? And then you need Mr. Moneybags, because Mr. Moneybags don't have a lot of time, nor do you want him to have a lot of time. But what Mr. Moneybags is good for is he's good for making sure that you're straight. You don't need him all the time, but when you need him, and he comes through and he blows through town. He takes you out. Y'all have $300 meals. He's good for that, and then he's gone. And so you keep all of these other people straight. And then number 5, you need a floater. When those other 4 are not available, he's always there. Now, again, you might meet a man that's going to have 3. Very rare that he has 4, but he going to have 3 of these qualities. You still gonna need, for the main event, a hype man and a backup dancer. This is Corbett the Black Tea Sip. We're gonna take a break, and right after this, we're gonna come back and talk about Monique, because if anybody needs some relationship help, it's her. In a minute.
Hi, this is Howard Scott from The Howard Scott Show, coming to you from beautiful Arlington, Texas on Fishbowl Radio. You can catch me every Wednesday from 6 to 7, and we play all this war music, and you get to hear some of the songs that I wrote when I was in the band War, how I created the songs, the stories behind it, and we start off with the blues. You have a good time talking to me, so tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7 and catch The Howard Scott Show. We're having a whole lot of fun on Fishbowl Radio.
Jump in.
Podcasters and internet radio hosts, it's time to take your show to the next level. Hi, my name is Sammy G, a 30-plus year radio broadcasting veteran, public speaker, and voiceover artist. And for the last 11 years, now the proud owner of Fishbowl Radio Network, the largest and most listened to streaming platform and radio station facility of its kind. 2 years ago, I created a proprietary system to help podcasters and internet radio hosts learn how to program their show like the pros, build a constantly growing and loyal fan base, and monetize their show. I teach this system every 6 weeks via Zoom to individuals all over the world. The Behind the Mic Masterclass is 6 one-hour classes that will finally take your show to the next level. Call today, 817-633-4880, 817-633-4880, and reserve your seat for the next Behind the Mic Masterclass.
Hey DFW, it's Luna and Nika, owners of Real Dallas Properties and Management, here to serve all your real estate needs. Nika, tell them what we do.
So we're a Dallas-based boutique real estate brokerage, and we're full service, which means we can help with every and any type of real estate transaction.
That's right, we got your back at every stage of life.
Whether you need an apartment, a home rental, to buying your first home, selling that home, buying investments, to even property management.
And don't forget commercial, looking for a new space for your business? We got you on that too. You can reach us on Instagram at Real Dallas Properties, or shop all properties on the market at RealDallasProperties.com.
Hi, this is Diane Marion Eunice, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. For the past 9 years, I have worked with over 300 couples in the areas of sexual health, communication, and conflict resolution. If you are interested in rebuilding connection and intimacy with your partner, please contact me today. I can be reached at 682-201-8175, or you can email me at diane@letstalkrelationships.org, or visit my website at www.letstalkrelationships.org. And remember, you can't heal if you refuse to deal.
Attention, Kiko is hiring. You heard right. Kiko is hiring. Kiko is looking for you to fill the following positions: seamstress, machine operators, forklift drivers, loaders, packers, and baggers. 2 shifts are available. First shift Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Saturday, and 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. overtime. And second shift Monday to Friday, 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday, and 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. overtime. Kiko offers great medical benefits just 30 days after hire, and company match 401k. Visit us at KikoHome.com and submit your resume to Cariano@lkiko.com. You can also apply in person at 5450 West Keith Boulevard in Dallas. All interviews are conducted in person. Don't miss this great opportunity. Get hired today at Kiko.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Fishbowl Radio Network. FBRN.US. Your voice matters. Jump in.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world. but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job. Done.
Tell me why. Why can't we live together? Tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
Hello, all you melanated beauties. Sun-kissed by God's lips. This is Coy with your black tea sip. I'm sipping power to pour you the truth. Go grab your cup. Let's give it up.
All right. This is Coy with the Black Tea Sip. You're joining us today. We're talking about relationships because Monique needs some relationship counseling. Now, Monique the comedian, likes to brag about her relationship with her husband. But I distinctively remember several years ago, Monique with the movie Precious, and everybody was talking about. I've never seen the movie because I don't want to. I do not find entertainment in downtroddenness. I don't like that. I don't like depression, and I don't find a need for that. But I also don't read self-help books. I just pray to Jesus. So it's not my kind of movie. I've never read an Oprah book because all of Oprah's books are relatively related to her tragic upbringing, and that's not part of my story. So reading that kind of stuff and watching those kind of movies is not part of my ministry. So with that being said, Monique brags about her relationship with her husband and how he helped her lose weight, although it seems like she went and picked it all back up. But she glorifies that relationship. But her relationships with everybody else is tragic. Now, I don't know anything about D.L. Hughley other than, what I have seen on his from his persona, radio station, his comedy show. Like, I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's a butthole. I don't know anything. But I do know that Monique is not a great person to be around, and certainly not a great person once she gets angry. So Monique and D.L. Hughley and two other people did a comedy show. Now, here's a Coyism for you. It is my sincere belief that not one individual, single, solitary, not now, nary, or ow person paid money because they believed that Monique was the headliner. I do not believe that.
I don't believe that either.
She's not relevant.
No.
She's not funny.
She used to be.
Well, you used to poop on yourself too, and I hope you don't do that no more.
No, yeah. I'm a big girl. I can go to the potty.
So, it's a whole lot of things we used to do.
Yeah.
But you stopped doing those things. Mm-hmm. Now, Monique was good at acting, but she fell completely out with Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler frickin' Perry, who has put on everybody. I think if me and Lola were to get a message to Tyler and say, hey, we want to act, he would say, come on, because he is about putting all black folks on, whether they can act or not. Some of these shows, that's all I'm going to say. So you don't piss off Tyler Perry. He is putting everybody on. She refused to go out and promote the movie Precious. She made the comment that she was going to spend time with her family and that she was laying in the bed with her babies watching I don't remember the name of the cartoon. And she made a public statement. So we also have to ask yourself, is Monique retarded? Is she a retard?
I feel like, I do feel like she has a personality disorder. And what I mean by that is because she's won a Grammy after
Oscar.
An Oscar. Yes, she can't sing. Or
can she sing?
Sorry, I don't think she's made an album either. Sorry about that. But she has an Oscar, which is like the ultimate award for performance entertainment in film and in film.
Right.
And so for her what are you complaining about? And the thing is, I don't even think she knows how she wants to be recognized or identified or received by the community or. And
she's very confused.
Yeah, it is. Like, she's upset. You know, one day she's grateful, the next day it's like she's looking.
She's narcissistic.
Yeah, very.
And she does have a personality disorder.
Narcissistic behavior. It's like, okay, Puffy's narcissistic, right? I mean, really.
Well, and we work in politics. Politicians, people who run for office are narcissistic.
But even being narcissistic, they find a way to channel their energy to give you the finger, right? So they do hit albums or they make blockbuster movies because they believe that even though they're so petty, that even though someone told them no, you gonna be saying hell yeah till the cows come home.
Well,
that's why I say it's a personality. Because she doesn't even know how to.
I think people need to hear what Monique actually said. Angelo, can we get that video ready? Because I think that when you hear what she said, then we'll talk about why she said it. But I want you to hear what she said first. All right, you ready?
When I tell you Detroit, y'all don't understand what the fuck I had to go through to stand in front of you beautiful motherfuckers tonight. Y'all don't understand the fight a bitch had to go through to stand in front of y'all tonight. Y'all don't understand I was ready to walk the fuck up out of here, but I said I can't let the people down of motherfucking Detroit, because the promoter's as raggedy as a motherfucker. So the contract, oh, nigga. The motherfucking contract said that a bitch is the headliner. The headliner. Let me say it again. The headliner. That's what the motherfucking contract says. Monique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named Hughley turned into a bitch and said I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. I don't fuck with nobody. I don't fuck with no motherfucking body. But when you cross the line with me, nigga, you have crossed the motherfucking line. And that bitch, nigga, has crossed the motherfucking line. See, we got a history, nigga. We got a history. That nigga went on a tour talking about all Monique wasn't. You can Google it right now. Hughley on Monique, all I wasn't, what I wasn't worth, all of this bullshit, and nigga, you put your feet under my motherfucking table. So you came to my home, nigga, and you put your feet under my motherfucking table. I don't get down like that, goddammit. You got a bitch wrong. You talk about Young Thug, and cause of their names, nigga, your name is DL. What the fuck does it stand for? How far you bending over, nigga, on the DL? You fuck with the wrong one. See, black women, let me tell you something. A lot of black men in Hollywood got a problem with me. Because I got a motherfucking black king. That's my husband. And them niggas can't understand it. They can't fathom it. It makes them motherfucking sick. Because at what time did black men start attacking black women? What kind of real nigga is that? That's a bitch nigga. That's a bitch nigga. What kind of real nigga would ever attack a goddamn black woman? A bitch nigga. I feel sorry for D.L. Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his motherfucking wife. Cause how do you suck the dick of a coward? I want to give you the history, mama, so you understand. See, when I look at my wives and sisters, and she look at me like this, get that, nigga. Thank you, mama. See, I did this radio show one time, right? Because I'm thinking, this is my boy. This nigga ain't never had no motherfucking problem, y'all. Right? This my motherfucking dude. So we won a radio show, and when we get to the end of the motherfucking program, Bitch, did you in program? Bitch went to England program. When we get to the end of the program, they say, Monique, would you like to play a game? Well, bitch, I like to play games. So I said, sure. Let's play a game. And it's a game called Would You Rather. Would you rather? I said, fuck it, let's go. And then the sister Jasmine says, would you rather your husband fuck Lee Daniels without a condom or Corinne Steffens with one? I want y'all to hear the bitch shit this nigga that tried to put me through, y'all. Would you rather your husband fuck, like, nigga, what kind of shit are you putting over the air to your motherfucking listeners? That's coon shit. So be careful who's feeding your motherfucking soul, because you might swallow coon pie and you can't get the coon off of you, and it'll give you goddamn diarrhea. I don't fuck with nobody, but don't fuck with me. Now let's start the motherfucking show. I feel better.
All right, and we're back. So I let the whole thing play because that is how Monique opened her show. I apologize for the profanity and the vulgarity, and I probably should have put that in the title. I forgot how raunchy and nasty and filthy
it was poor
she gets.
professionalism.
But here is the thing. That's why I want to talk about relationships. You must first have a relationship with yourself to know who you are. Now, I've often said I am a Gemini. We are impulsive. Now, don't confuse me with these June Geminis, because these June Geminis are the ones that's crazy and give us a bad rep. Do not confuse me with them. May Geminis, we are dismissive.
Oh, yeah.
We are very dismissive. But we do all, May or June, struggle with impulse control. I have done a great deal of work on myself to controlling my impulses. I don't say everything that comes to my mind. It doesn't matter how angry I am. I use breathing exercises because, you know, my tongue is a ginsu, and I know I can cut a person up and spit them out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I'm trying not to do that, people tell me I've done that. I'll leave them nameless. So I am aware of that because I have a relationship with myself. What you saw with Monique is a woman that became completely unglued because the relationship she has with herself is in turmoil. So every other relationship she has is also in turmoil. What were you going to say?
You have to remember the end goal. Like, even if you want to get your point across about being the headliner, that is determined by if someone wants to go after you.
Right,
so your show should be so dope that he don't want to go after you no more.
Ricky Smiley said it best.
He wants to go before you now because he recognizes that every time you get on stage and he come behind you,
she gonna kill it.
The crowd goes silent. And the thing is, because we have the capability of positioning ourselves. I mean, even when I'm asked to sing, oh, I want you to open up. Okay, that's fine. Even though I was supposed to close, I'm gonna open up.
Because the money is the same.
I'm gonna open up and close before you get on stage. That's what I'm gonna do.
But that's because you're a professional, but the relationship you have with yourself. And I think what we are seeing even in dating is people are not honest about who they are. Let me tell you what's wrong with Monique, because y'all know, baby, because you know I will psychoanalyze it and get it all the way told. And even though I cannot write a prescription, I can tell you where to go. So here's what's wrong with Monique. She started feeling herself, started doing well, started making money. Now, you know, the old blue bloods talk about nouveau riche, newly rich. So you got a lot of black folks that have recently come into money but are uncultured, grew up unsophisticated, unknowing, and have grown up with nothing. But you can't take the hood out the folks. So you have that. So she starts making money. She starts feeling good. She's selling out these small arenas. I mean, you know, it's not these stadiums like Kevin Hart. And she's looking around, and she is not getting the recognition. It is unfair that men make more money than women in every industry. It is unfair, but that is the reality of it. Mm-hmm. Now, Monique looks around and she sees all these men. They're getting, all of them, DL, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, you know, the big ones. They've all gotten TV shows, right? Now, I know she had the Parkers and she had something else, but Cedric got a show on right now. Steve and DL and Ricky Smiley have radio shows right now, primetime radio shows. They're selling out. Kevin Hart is selling out football arenas. There's no woman that's doing that. That is her first problem because she feels like she's at the top. I'll make my point and I'm gonna let you talk. The second thing is that Monique is angry because when she spat in the face, and I talked about it before, of Oprah and Tyler and Lee Daniels, and then she thought she would not get the backlash that she received, but they blackballed her and they shut her out. I don't think it was hard work to do that, because if you're not willing to promote the movie, then why would I hire you? I need you out there working. It's usually part of the contract. What you saw right then, she attacked D.L. Hughley personally, talked about his wife, and suggested that he was a homosexual. You all know in the black community, when they say, well, you know, we have a problem with homosexuals, that's not necessarily true, because that's the one that led all the choirs and helped you get ready for prom and did your hair, so that's not true. But to call a black man a homosexual is like Will slapping Chris in the face. It's not the hit, it's the slap. What you saw Monique do was completely attempt to emasculate someone that she's actually jealous of. Go ahead, make your point.
So, and to your point, I agree with that. To talk about, and then you're bringing people, innocent people in. His wife ain't got nothing to do with what y'all's contract is. She didn't draw up the contract.
That's right.
But it's all about, and here's the thing. We have to take responsibility for our actions and hold ourselves accountable when we're not getting something that we want. Meaning, if you're not getting the TV shows, if you're not getting the publicity, if you're not even getting the opportunities that you feel like you should be getting, you have to really do some reflecting on yourself and see why. Because if you're hard to work with, don't nobody want to deal with
That's
you,
right.
then why would I hire you? You may be great. You may be absolutely amazing. However, it's gonna cost me too much, because at the end of the day, it's about the dollar.
Not only if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
And if I feel like you're gonna be messing with my money,
that's right.
I'm not doing it.
Or if you're gonna cause me so much peace.
If you think about
cost my peace.
When it comes to, I love Lauryn Hill. I'm a fan. I will not spend a dime.
Oh, no, ma'am.
I will not spend a dime
ma'am.
to go see her. She is likely to not show, or she'll show real late. There are other people that we have that I am huge fans of, that I'm not taking my hard-earned money, and I'm not going to go anticipate them getting on stage, because they have showed me who they are, and they have been true to themselves. Yeah. And so in that situation, I say no. So it's the same thing with her. Like, from a professional standpoint, you are not someone people want to work with. And then on top of that, you have totally forgot about your end goal. Because if this is where you want to be, have you created a show? And have you submitted it to some producers? Because if they ain't giving you one, then you should create one. If you haven't done that, then what's the problem? Secondly, if you're still not getting what you want, everybody ain't lying.
That's right.
Everybody ain't lying.
That part.
Everybody picking on you.
It can't be everybody else.
I am a beautiful black queen, but from one beautiful black queen to another,
well,
at the end of the day, your behavior is not beautiful. Your behavior, I mean, that you
and let's be clear. Who cares that you have a husband?
No,
DL does not care.
But that justifies her behavior, because if your hype man is in the back, and I'm not saying that he is, I don't know him, I don't know what the conversation
she don't have
is.
A hype man.
But at the end of the day, if your husband is always telling you right, and you had the right to do that, you are justifying your behavior.
That's right. He's an enabler.
You're an enabler. Yeah. And you're justifying this. And it's only hurting you all, personally and financially.
And financially, because she didn't work for a long time. And then she went out there. Angela, we had the contracts. I want to pull up this contract that was on the door so you all can see it. Monique, and this is why I say this is about relationships, whether they're platonic, professional, or personal, or romantic.
Right, because
you can't do that. And here's what Monique did. Monique went out there, and you all had a contract, and one's on the door, and it shows the listing of order.
I have had people dog me, close friends dog me. And in order for me to get through what I needed to get through for my own professional sake, I had to continue
push through.
And because I'm going to tell you what makes people look crazy. When you do it so smooth and they didn't see it coming.
I think.
And when what they are expecting you to do, you don't do. So they don't even have they don't have any proof to justify what they've said or how they feel about you. That's golden, because they can't take no actions away. They can't take your work away from you.
I think the problem with Monique is she keeps coming to us, the public. And this, and I'm, you know, and Isaac, my boy Isaac is on here. What's up, Isaac? My boy said, I like Monique. Well, I'm not a fan. I don't dislike Monique. Well, I do today. Today I do dislike Monique.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you like Monique, you like Monique. But Monique is messy and she's a problem. But here's the problem with Monique. If your problem is the contract and that D.L. Hughley said he's not going to go after you, your issue is with the promoters. It's not with D.L. And she opened it up by saying these promoters. That's what she said. These promoters. So your issue is with the promoters. So you take it up backstage with the promoters. But I think Ricky Smiley said it best. He said, there has been an instance where there was somebody that was just being a complete butthole. He said every time they got a TV show, but okay, fine, whatever. And so I think it was Steve Harvey, but I can't swear to it. And he said they were being a complete butthole to him. And he said, okay, fine, I won't close. He said, because this actually happens all the time. So, and Monique knows it happens all the time. So, he said, all Monique was supposed to do is what I have done so many times. I go out there and I kill it. I kill it. He said, I shut it down. I'm funnier than I ever been. He said, I bring music. He said, I know I'm funny and I bring, I have action with it. He said, and you never want to close behind me again because I bring the funny.
You can open, if you are first, you can open and shut it down.
Yeah.
You have more.
But here's the thing about the money. Here's the money, Lola. If that's your concern, go ahead and let DL have it. Tear that show up so that in 4 months everybody wants to come see you and you bring your own people.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying,
but
because
Monique doesn't have that.
If she would have killed it, open and close, and then after this show, the next male comedian comes out, she charge them double, or she has created the reputation of being a good comedian, bringing the audience back. You charge more. You're gonna be looking for pennies.
And this is just the show in Detroit. This is a whole comedy tour. This is not just in Detroit. Tear the show up so that DL tells you for the next city, you go ahead and close.
I remember, and this is so long ago, but Jay-Z and R. Kelly were on tour. They did an album together. And R. Kelly was getting mad and just was doing some outrageous stuff. So Jay-Z never got on stage.
Who would have ever thought it?
Yeah. It had to be, like 2000. But anyway, he never went on stage. He never said anything bad about R. Kelly. He just shut it down. And so when they took R. Kelly off that tour, and he still sold out arenas because he knew that his work and and his talent, he could do this by himself. He didn't have to go off on nobody. He didn't have to tell the audience what it was. He never addressed it.
I don't understand why she had to talk about DL's wife putting his member in her mouth. I will never understand that.
Because she would be but it's a contradiction. Now, you done told us we all beautiful black queens, and you done dragged this woman in something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And the thing is, just like now, if she come up and whoop your butt,
yes, we can, but we try not to. We try not to.
She come and drag you. You gonna have to let her drag you because if DL did that to you and your husband busted him
she would have told the world she was a victim.
He would have busted him in his mouth. You would have said it's justified. So if she knock on your door and drag you out your house in front of your kids and you like, my kids didn't have to see that, well, you didn't have to put her in it. Hey,
you did not.
Meet me in these streets.
You did not, because the truth is that woman didn't do anything. she's not a part of it. And the truth is, the professionalism went right out the door. And Monique wants to know why she can't get paid. See, the Netflix people that you were originally talking to should have been able to see you tear that show up so that you could get the $2 million that you came to us about. You keep coming to us to try to help defend your money, and you talking to people who will never see $2 million in a lump sum in their lifetime.
And you are taking away from your own talent. Now, as talented as you are,
well, let's not go too far now. Let's not go too far.
As talented as you are,
let's not go too far.
Now, it doesn't mean anything. It's diminishing. It's
well, you're proving the world right.
Right.
She's
and the
allowed.
Thing is, you keep wanting us, the audience, to have your back. I don't know, go on a march for you or something. I'm not.
Yeah, because she did want us to go on a march.
I'm not boycotting. I'm not
boycotting Netflix. I like Netflix. Netflix didn't do nothing to me.
Netflix. I follow DL Hughley, and I do have some. There are a lot of things DL says and does that I disagree with, but at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna say I ain't never got fired from a job because I didn't do the job.
That's right. She
now
was
that and that is the truth. You could have capitalized, and the thing is, you don't have nobody on your team say, "Hey,
cut that out."
You going on first. So that means you open up and you close it. And we will discuss.
She doesn't have
later.
anybody that says, hey, this behavior is not healthy. You want to know why you didn't work in X amount of years? Why all these comedy specials on Showtime, not even HBO, are old? She doesn't have anybody like that. And I think you're right. The people that she has around her, her black king, they're enablers. And the reason that she's not making money, because what happens?
Can't trust you.
That's right. But more importantly, my boy, I say he likes Monique. Well, he wasn't in Detroit because not one person, not Al, Nary, did nobody pay to see Monique close. Monique is not funny. She was funny. She's past funny. She has been funny. She's not funny, and she did not look good in that gold dress. This is called the Black Tea Sip. I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. And let me just add this. This victimization role that people are playing, like Jada Pinkett Smith that I'm about to talk to after the break, we're tired of it. The black community is sick of it. Stop using people who have alopecia to justify your husband slapping Chris Rock. It didn't go like y'all thought. This is a prime example. If thought it was going to go one way and it went a whole nother, was a whole person. This is Corbett, the Black Tea Sip. Be right back in a minute.
Nourished skin is healthy skin. Simply Ardor skincare products provides luxurious nourishment for your body. Indulge in rich scrubs and body butters and top it off with our sensational and unique aromatic lines of sprays and roll-on fragrances. It's simple and lovely. Simply Ardor. Love is real. Just spread it.
Louis on my eyes, you got them days. Took you a whole year to bounce back. Took me a couple days. You hitting licks, I'm getting rich. I'm hitting C-notes. Watch what you say, I got a pick. I can show you what he know. He can do tricks, he with the shit. Do what I tell him to. If he get at you, I plead the fifth. I didn't tell him to. I hit the block was hot. I had to drop the top. Remember the name, never forget the face. I'm coming back. Won't now, go get your phone now. Yeah, won't now, go get your phone now. You should watch me shine. Look like I hit the lotto. I be on my grind, bitches think
All right, and we're back. If you just joined us, we were talking about relationships, and we were talking about Monique is an idiot. So I have some people here that are supporting Monique. I have a couple of listeners on the show. My boy Isaac said he at work and he tried to listen in, but he said he liked Monique. He would have paid money to see Monique. I told him he was 1 in a million. So, so I think Monique, she doesn't have the proper relationships. And I think the only reason her husband has stayed with her is because, there's more money than he can make on his own. I just put it out there. Now, The contracts that you'll see, she said DL sent a memo and his team should have told him not to do that. But the contract that you say that Monique says you see the signatures, it's her company, it's her personal contract that she sent. Hicks Entertainment is hers. The promoter has his own contract that he sends out, and then you redline it from a contract standpoint and it goes back. Usually you don't accept the entertainer's contract because you are the promoter of the show. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Y'all think what y'all want to. Jada Pinkett Smith, she's back. Ooh. She's back and she's a victim and she opened the Red Table Talk. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not gonna give her no pub on my show. She's got enough fans and we're building ours.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, I just haven't had time.
She said, well, I don't watch that show. She said that she's now the spokesman for alopecia. Listen, y'all are allowing her to lemonade y'all like y'all did with that Beyonce album. Now, the album was fire. Don't misunderstand me. Beyonce brought music back with the Lemonade album. Howsoever, y'all started talking about her relationship and she was so strong and you understood and you personalized it and you was a champion, you joined the Beehive. It was all to put money in her bank account. That is what this is. Red Table Talk, she wants to be the spokesman for alopecia. Understand that when you become the spokesman on a national level, they pay you, they cut you a check. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith has said she's had all these problems. Okay, well, you got more money than God. If that man can get, she's worth $60 million. I don't know how. She can only be talented when it's hood. But okay, maybe they pay a lot for that. So she did the little Star Wars movie, you know. So Will is the breadwinner, but she got $60 million. Okay, so I don't have $60 million, so let me not scoff. But here is the issue. She has created a victim role for herself by destroying a man through her relationship. 2 men, and she hopes that Will and Chris can reconcile and move forward. But the alopecia community, she's going to be a spokesperson for them. If you don't sit your little bitty bald head down. That is how I feel about Jada Pinkett Smith. This should have never happened. I don't think it's a black woman on the face of the planet that has ever been with a black man where there was not an issue and you jumped up in front of him and said, hey, we ain't gonna do this here now. This is not what we gonna do. Because this whole black queen thing that y'all keep trying to purport and internalize, disseminate, and spread, in order for you to be a queen to your king, you must support the king and keep him from losing his kingdom. Because when he loses his kingdom, you are no longer the queen.
You are no longer the queen.
Will has lost his kingdom. And now she is literally sitting there trying to be the queen. The kingdom is eroding. There are some issues here. There is something afoot. This is a Cleopatra moment where she killed her siblings so that she could rise to the ranks. She literally has destroyed Will so that she can sit on top, but she can't.
Yeah, and this was like just a really bad move because even like you said, as a queen, you would have never motioned him if, you would have never put him in a position to basically lose it all in one night. This is a night he had been waiting for. Right. We all know he should have got an Oscar for Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
And
that's exactly right.
And now here in his moment, he can't even. We will never remember him receiving an Oscar for playing the dad of Serena and Venus Williams in that movie. We'll never remember that. And I think it was an insult to Richard Williams for him to try to tie his behavior to the crazy dad. It was repugnant. And the thing is, because I know if it was my mom and my dad, my mom would have never sit down. No. Because you don't give people that kind of ammunition.
I had a dude, I used to date this dude that played football. And I think he got CTE. That's why I didn't really put the police in his life. And, he would just like turn up places I want. It made me uncomfortable. So many years go by. And I happened to see him out. And I was with my man. And my man was like, do I need to blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, let's go. I'm not about to put my man and have him taking penitentiary chances. We can leave. Now, sometimes the dude is grabbing on your girl and you got to do something. That's a different set of circumstances. But words, talking, you get in your car and you drive home, because at the end of the night, it's about making it home. When your man is about to do something, I don't know a black woman out there that doesn't grab his hand and pull him back and say, wait a minute, hold on. All Jada had to do when it's well, she didn't know what he was doing. Well, why not? Don't she know her man? Or she just know other men like that Alcina boy. She don't know her man, she just know other men. Jada Pinkett Smith is full of it, because you can talk up under her clothes on a red table talk. You can talk up under her mama's clothes, you can talk up under her daughter's clothes, you can talk up under everybody, Niecy Nash, everybody that comes on that show. You can know all up under her bedroom actions, boudoir behavior, but you cannot say nothing about her bald head. You sound like a fool. That is absolutely insane. And for those of you that are still trying to justify this behavior, well, then let me say this, and I don't mean to be unkind. I want to be truthful. Let me finish. I want to be truthful. You are as crazy as you look. If you think that it is, and you look crazy, if you think that it is all right for this man to jump up, get mad because he made a comment and slap him, and then say he was defending his woman. He can't defend, he was defending his lady. There's no lady in this whole scenario. This woman has allowed y'all to know all up and through her, and know that she manipulated, seduced, pursued her son's friend, slept with him, then said she was trying to heal. I guess she was healing him through her twat, because she was supposedly helping him with his mental illness and sleeping with him. Where is the lady that needs defending? Y'all need to stop this foolishness. And Jada, y'all need to stop watching this show. Y'all need to demand accountability, and y'all need to tell her to stop it. Because Will is over here in Taiwan trying to put his life back together. Lord help Will, because he is not for the streets. He is a little Philadelphia boy that never got off the porch. He is the same boy who rapped and his grandmama said, I want to listen to your music so you cannot curse. And he came up with the bubblegum popcorn music that has made him the star that he is. Will is not prepared for this Baltimore hood rat. This girl is manipulating him and doing everything she can. So in your relationships, when it is toxic, you do not stay in it. Will and the like, you get out of it. You start to have a relationship with yourself so that you know your self-worth. For those of you that believe in the Bible says you are the head and not the tail. The Bible says that the words of a man's mouth go straight to the belly. And a brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. Now, I know Jada don't know the Bible, but I'm just telling y'all, because she don't act like it. She don't act like it at all. She don't act like she went to no BTUs, no choir rehearsals, no usher board meetings, nothing. No vacation Bible school, nothing. And y'all are out here championing Jada. Stop it. Stop it, and stop her. And alopecia people, do not use her as your mascot, because that girl can grow hair. I ain't seen no spots in her head yet. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this whole alopecia situation is just very far-fetched. It's a bad PR move. Personally, as a publicist, I would not, do that. That is, and if that is the distraction, because alopecia, and I don't know this to be true, but I personally don't know anyone who's died from alopecia.
Well, no.
Cancer is serious, right?
Right.
People, those are terminal illnesses, AIDS, all the, anything like that.
Right.
But alopecia, I know a lot of people with it, and they have great wigs.
Right.
They do great sew-ins, and they are living their best life. I have yet to know. And if there is someone who knows someone, I want to send my condolences, and I am not making light of that. But I don't know if 1 in 5 people with alopecia, fatally die from the loss of hair, because
she's like Monique. She wants us to come out and champion the fact that her hair won't grow. I'm sorry. We got real stuff going on.
I have very fine hair, and since I have very fine hair, I put a lot of full braids in it, or I wear a sew-in. These things can be resolved.
And I'm not making light of someone. Your hair is your crown, and if I've gone through my own hair struggles, so I understand. I am certainly not saying that I think it's funny or I'm making light of it. What I'm saying is don't use it as a tool and manipulate other people.
That is the real point. Like, don't make it. Don't use this when people are really struggling with their. It's because it's a mental health to lose your hair or to
it does.
It messes with your self-esteem.
It does.
Your security, your confidence, a lot.
And if she was talking about that, I would be, okay, Jada, I understand what you're saying. If she was saying, these are the things that I've done, and these are the things that work for me, and these are the things that haven't worked for me, but to suggest that Will is justified in his action because, listen, there are black women all over this world that literally cut their hair off just like that, what we used to call old school college cut, that do not have hair issues. That is what they like.
But he gave you a real blockbuster opportunity. You
to be G.I. Jane, the black lady.
Yes, and the description of G.I. Jane is not, a broke down crackhead hoe. She's a warrior.
And Demi Moore was celebrated for cutting her hair off, and everybody talked about how she was beautiful. Jada went out like that for attention, but she looked gorgeous.
I feel like
she looked gorgeous.
I feel like she steals moments or something.
She's trying to create a relevancy for herself that he has, in the same way that Monique is trying to create a relevancy that she feels like she's not getting with DL.
You need to hire new teams because these decisions that you're making
are poor
in getting the to develop the relevancy you feel like you deserve. It's landing very flat.
It's not good.
Yeah, because I'm just really. It's not doing well, and I'm so over it. Like Jada and Will, I feel like Will, love someone that cannot possibly love him back.
And let me say that my mother, the great philosopher, says you have to love me my way, not your way, which means you can't love me like you want to love me and think and that I'm going to receive it as love. When your relationships are toxic, when there is abuse, because this is abusive. Here's a video of Will where she's filming. He said, I don't want to be filmed. Don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And she continues to do it. Here's a point in case. Marriott called me, said, you haven't used your points. Child, Marriott made me mad. So I wrote them a letter. But that's a talk show for a different day. So Marriott calls me like, look, you can, for 3 years, you can use these vacations. You can go anywhere in the world. You can do 5 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights, blah, blah, blah. We just want you back. And so they put this other guy on there and says, you have so many points. You don't even need to pay any money. So I'm like, okay, well, let me hear what they got to say. And so you know how these telemarketers are called, and at the end of every sentence, he called my name. Well, about the 6th sentence, I said, can you not repeat my name after every sentence? I know who I am, you know who I am, so we don't need to do that. Well, that's just how I talk, Miss Coy. And so Miss Coy, I said, you're still doing it. It's just like when somebody says, oh, this don't smell good, smell this. And you're like, I don't want that. And they don't smell it. Or taste it. It's a level of disrespect in that because you've already said no.
And you're refusing to.
You expect to honor that this person needs this to be whole. When that is happening, that is an unhealthy relationship. And your sacrifice in what you need to make yourself whole is considered toxic and is abusive. So when she's holding that camera in his face and he said, I don't want to be filmed, and she continues doing this, she rolls her eyes like he did something wrong because he doesn't want to be filmed, that's abuse. Y'all are out here enabling a itty-bitty, midget, bald-headed abuser. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I honestly feel like Will really, because he loves hard. That's obvious.
Yeah.
That he just wants it, he wants
and his
that
mom and dad, have been, when you see that, you want that.
Yeah, and to that point, what you were saying, even once you see how someone loves you, like this is who they are,
repeat patterns,
then you have to accept that and decide what you're going to do for you, what's in your best interest. Because even though my expectations of love is one way and I demand that, and if you keep showing me that is something you cannot give me,
you can't deliver,
I need to walk away, because at this point it is up to me.
That's right.
It is up to me.
And it's about the decisions that you make. I want to talk about, I have on, and shout out to my marketing team, shout out to Kaya and Simone, who are doing a fantastic job with Instagram and Facebook. I appreciate everything you guys do. So I have on there about the girl who was said that she was pregnant and was shot 5. I think they said they fired 4 or 5 shots. and then it ended up being not so factual. So there is a man named, let me get him, because, you know, I get tired of these trolls. But, you know, his point was valid. It's the way he went about it I did not like. So when we originally aired that, put that on, it said unarmed woman shot 5 times during arrest. Well, that is how the news originally purported it, and we didn't update it because it just came out, I think, a day or 2 ago that she wasn't pregnant, which those of you that know me know that I worked in healthcare and was known at one point as the HIPAA queen. So I find it very odd that they know that she wasn't pregnant, because that's a HIPAA violation, because the public doesn't need to know that. But the other thing is, there is a picture of her holding a firearm. She's holding it down. We don't see her point it. I want to just say briefly that I'd like to see the body cam video. I'd like to see the actual video footage to see how it happened. But Leona Hale was shot 5 times by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. There is an investigation in Kansas City. Kansas City is certainly no stranger to police shootings and the brutality of black people, but they're saying that she did have a firearm and she was involved in a carjacking. But here's what I want to say too, and let me make sure I get his name. I thought we would put up his picture. Maybe I'll put up his picture later. I want to make sure I get this right, because, you know, these trolls kill me. His name is David Kupcinet. Kupcinet. He looked like a serial killer. So David Kupcinet wanted me to get it right, that she wasn't innocent. I said, nowhere did we say she was innocent. Well, you said that this unarmed person. Well, the news said she was originally unarmed. And listen, David Kupcinet, it's not a secret that they actually do shoot unarmed black people.
Right.
So, I mean, it was no stretch of the imagination.
And it's also, I mean, the media gets it wrong
all the time. But he wants me to talk about, so I told him I would talk about him, and that's what I'm doing, because I am a person that does what she says she's going to do. So, this is what I want to say. They shot her. That white man rolled up in tops, and guess what? Didn't nobody shoot him.
Right.
You know,
and he was definitely armed.
And they said, well, he was holding the gun on himself.
It didn't matter. Then even more of a
Child,
reason.
if you don't stop this foolishness. So, before you try to lecture me on what I need to say, what you need to say is, you know, there has been a correction, and you may want to take a look at this. But don't come on my page trying to tell me what to do, David Kupcinet, because that won't get it done. All right, Marion Barber. I know that you knew him personally. Mm-hmm. And I know that this is a sad time for Cowboy fans, for his family and friends. And you made a statement about something that he told you when you were in the airport. You want to share that?
Oh my God. Years ago, when I was really pursuing music, I had an opportunity to audition for Jill Scott, and I was running in the airport, and I ran into him, and, you know, he asked where I was going. I told him I was going to Atlanta to audition to sing for Jill Scott. I said, this is my big break. I know it. I just can feel it. I can do this, and you know, the world is going to open. And he wasn't like, great. He was more like, girl, your big break was when God put breath in your body. And I said, oh, boom. Wow. And I remember feeling like, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
Or feel like, but I was so focused on, and he said, well, I tell you, he's like, if you don't get it, you know, it's because you sing better than her. Let's be real clear. Jill Scott is a dynamic singer. And so I did.
But those of you who have not heard Lola sing, the girl can sing. Take the I out, put an A. She can sing.
And so he said, you know, just do what you do, and everything else, you know, we'll do the rest. And I really was troubled, because I was on the plane when I got there, and when he said, if I don't, I was, you know, I'm only thinking about, well, why would he say I wouldn't, you know? Right. And it really was now, you know, putting things in perspective, it's like, you know, when people reject you, that doesn't mean you're not good enough.
Right.
You know,
failing does not mean you're a failure.
Identify, can't see how great everyone is, right?
I think Anita Baker was 37 before she got on.
Right.
And they told her time and time again she couldn't sing, and she's Anita Baker.
Right. And but for him, you know, at the height of his career,
right,
and when
at
he had
28
injuries,
years old, yeah,
the people that said he was great, and I mean, this is a Pro Bowler, then called him a coward publicly.
Right.
A lot of
they Moniqued him.
Players are, I mean, I heard from a player who was like, I'm really upset with the Cowboys. Like, I feel like, because when you play something that or when you do something that you're glorified for such a long time, and then they close the doors on you with no and you don't see it coming, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
Like, mental health is really, 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 really a real thing, especially for them, because they're young, you know, and they have to find something else to do.
Yes.
And they're not used to doing that.
Let's put a pin right there. I'm sorry. You have to understand, I have a lot of friends that have played in the NFL, and a couple that have played in the NBA, just knowing them from growing up. And I have friends right now that are going through CTE investigations where they are going through a lot of tests. And one of them told me, I'm scared. But he said, but there are some times when I get out the bed, I hurt so bad, it takes me 30 minutes or more before I start feeling good. I got to do this, I got to do that. And when he told me that, we were in our early 40s. So here is Marion Barber that retired at 28 years old because his body was so beaten up. The mentality of that. We had Simone Biles that people made fun of because she said, mentally, I'm not ready. We had Osaka, the tennis player, who said, mentally, I'm not ready. Because the pressure and the stress that these athletes are under, we underestimate because it's shut up and dribble. It's shut up and run the ball. And the mental health of that all, I appreciate the fact that he said he is not turning his brain over for CTE investigation, as many have. And they are not having an extensive autopsy. His family is honoring his wishes by not having an extensive autopsy of his body.
I think, and people need to understand, like,
you got to say something now.
Okay,
come on, work through it.
So people have to understand that accepting people for who they are, as they are, it's a real deal, and it's very important, right? We will definitely dismiss people when we're not understanding what's going on or what's happening, and we'll say that they're crazy, or they're thrown off.
And that is, in the words of Dave Chappelle, that's the most dismissive thing you can do.
Yes, because even if they are, you have got to love their crazy self, or accept them for their crazy, all of that. Because if nothing else, if people struggle with just being them because we are so judgmental.
We are.
We are so dismissive, because if it does not align with us, and if it does not align with our thoughts, then surely you're not good, or you're not right, or you don't know what you're talking about. And that is a really big deal. Because I work with players as a sports publicist, that is what I really, really have learned. It is not about understanding. I will never understand because I ain't never ran my head in nobody for money. I've never done
with a helmet on.
I've never, tackled somebody for anything, and so I don't understand what that thought process is, but I don't dismiss it. Learn from people, listen to people, and when people are saying things that you feel are just don't make sense.
Well, you can also say, because here's what I say when I said, well, that's not part of my experience, but I hear you, and someone said to me, which was very impactful, I'm not minimizing your feelings. You can say just those words, and I think it's really important in relationships, because we opened this show up talking about relationships. You literally can tell someone, I'm not minimizing your feelings. I hear you. That's not something that is part of my experience, but I hear you. Because oftentimes people just need to be heard, especially in relationships. You can say, I'm quick to say, well, you know, that wasn't my perception. That wasn't my intention. You know, but I think we are dismissive, and we have a lot of things that go on. You know, even we've had all these mass shootings. We've had all these mass shootings, and right now we're trying to determine what a mass shooting is. And I think there has been a time where we have become desensitized to mass shootings. We've become desensitized to mental health. The fact that they are tying mental health to all of these shootings, like we're supposed to say, oh, okay, well, they had a mental health issue, so they had a break, and the man went and shot up a hospital, killed 2 doctors, and poor Mr. Love, he was just a patient. He was just at the hospital looking for help, and he got killed. So 2 doctors, a nurse, and a patient were killed because this man said that he was having pain in his back. And I want to leave y'all with this. I think it's interesting because we have had in less than 10 days a white man mass shooter, a Mexican man mass shooter, and a black man mass shooter. And I think that is weird. I think that, you know, this idea, we have always known that these serial killers and mass shooters has always been white men who usually had a problem with their mother, they were sexually oppressed, that oftentimes had a higher IQ but were underperforming. That is what we know. Now they're saying, oh no, there are black and Asian and Hispanic mass shooters. I don't know about that. And I think that this is weird. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that, because y'all going to jump on me.
What it all entails in, people are finding a way to deal with what they're struggling with, right? I had a friend last night tell me if I could just start punching stuff, I would. But he was like, you know, I don't want to hurt anyone or hurt something. And the reality is, when we're feeling uncomfortable in our feelings, we look for outlets. Does not justify mass shooting, does not justify shooting anyone. And so we definitely have to be mindful and be observant. If you have someone bringing in multiple guns, or they're texting you, I'm just about to buy another one, hey, we see what's going on. What is the obsession? Especially if they're not hunters. You know, and then on top of that,
I think
we have to be more aware.
I think we need to define a mass shooting. A mass shooting is a shooting of 3 or 4 or more people. But I opened the show with saying the escaped convict that killed a family of 5 is not considered a mass shooting. Why not? If it's all about guns and gun control, I think it is interesting to know that most people are shot and killed with a handgun, not an AR-15. But if they say turn in AR-15s, then turn in AR-15s, because why do you really need that? I think we need to have a real serious conversation with what it is that they are trying to accomplish. But to decide that every race of people has mass shooters, and so I'm not, you know, I try to keep my conspiracy theories off this show. Something is going on. I just think it's strange. And I think that in our quest to identify what it is that we need as individuals to be whole, I think we also need to take a look inward, but we also need to take a look outward and see what it is that people are telling us, the information that we are receiving. I am not an un-Biden fan. Like, you know, you can un-Biden yourself. I'm not that person. Like, you know, un-Biden. I'm not an un-Biden fan. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that I am not pleased with some of the things he's done. But I also think that you need to look at the mass exodus of black women in his administration. We're not talking about that. I think that we need to have a conversation about that part. I want to close here. The black lady who had a TV show about, what was it? The dancing dolls. She got mad because Southern University, who has had the dancing dolls for I don't know how many decades, sent her a cease and desist and said, don't use dancing dolls for your little dance group. She then went and trademarked Fabulous Dancing Dolls. Mm-hmm. to make sure that Southern University could not say fabulous dancing dolls, which they have said numerous times. That's petty and catty. And what are we out here doing, black people?
Yeah, I think, definitely with that. It's like there's so much more going on, you know, that you using your platform to, you know, do tit for tat.
But this is
ridiculous.
Disrespectful of the HBCU. Don't do that.
But here, I will say this: she has been around for 1,000,000 years, and ain't nobody said nothing about her using dancing dolls until she has made a lot of money off of it. So I will, absolutely. And so I do understand. Instead of having a conversation with Southern and seeing how this can be resolved, and they can partnership. Maybe these are the girls that aspire, because
But that is because there is a lack of respect for higher education that is identified as HBCUs, even in our community.
Right. And I don't think people understand we are all part of we can be all part of the solution, or we can be all part of the problem. And you need to decide who you are every day. Because if you are part of the solution, you are not creating more problems. And if you are part of the problem, you are the problem.
Okay, so let's bring up the picture of the little girls, that the white girls, the dancing group, cheerleading group, that used a black mannequin, named her Kareem, and that was their mascot. Let's pull up that picture, because I'm going to close right here. So now when I start talking about disrespectfulness, and I'm saying this from HBCU experience.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot do what she did as far as Southern University and the Dancing Dolls is concerned, and then criticize this, because it's all fruit of the same poisonous tree. Angelo, we got the picture?
No, it's up.
Okay, so I just want to leave this with you all. We got a lot of stuff going on in our community. They blocked out these girls' faces. I don't know why. They got pictures of it somewhere in that auditorium.
They used this as a performance?
Yes, this was their mascot. Her name is Kareem. I ain't never met a black woman named Kareem. So that's a man's name. I just want to leave y'all here. So while she is disrespecting Southern, this is what we got to deal with.
This is what's really going on.
This is what we got to deal with.
And
so people that think she's justified, this is all fruit of the same poisonous tree. All right, this is Corbett the Black Tea Sip. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you to Angelo for the extraordinary engineering, as always. I want to appreciate Edie and Isaac and many more that were saying hello to me today. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Diamond